Hello, this is Dragna. Welcome to the guide for the first boss of the Temple of Eluviuum, the Asuras. Right from the start, there are a few things you gotta notice. The most obvious one, you're not fighting one boss, you're fighting two bosses. So the second part is as soon as you engage into the fight, the center area, the floor, will turn into a permanent death zone, which lasts throughout the fight. This will basically separate both groups from each other most of the time. So it's kind of important to divide the group equally in advance. As a third reminder, both Asuras require different tanks. The freezing Asura requires a melee tank, the burning Asura requires a range tank. As for the roles, each group needs to have one tank, obviously, one keeper, two healers, and two DPS roles. In this case, I'll be the keeper, so you can also kind of see this one as a keeper point of view video. So as for what's going to happen right now, both Asuras will summon different colored globes throughout the area. Those globes are either blue colored or red colored, and they will float towards the Asuras. Those globes need to be blocked by the players, otherwise they will be absorbed by them by the Asuras and give them a stack of absorbed globes. If either of the Asuras absorbs 3 globes in total throughout the whole fight, they will wipe. As you can see, one of the orbs just spawned. This one is a blue one. There are specific rules on what role needs to block what color of orb. Generally speaking, the keeper and the tank need to block all the orbs that match the color of their tank. In this case, me and Fiammi, we will have to block all the blue orbs. On the other hand, the healers and the DPS roles need to block the color that's opposite to their boss. Meaning, all the healers and DPS on our side need to block the red orbs. Blocking an orb will give you 2 stacks in total of the respective color. So I blocked a blue orb in this case, meaning I received 2 stacks of a blue debuff. This debuff is called chilling for the blue one or burning for the red one. The goal is to receive 3 stacks in total, which will transform this chilling or burning buff into a new one, which is required for the later mechanics. First thing, as you can see, I keep looking around in order to not miss a single orb, because even a single orb can become quite dangerous. Second of all, there's an advanced property to those globes and their stacks. The first stack is applied immediately as soon as you block the orb. The second stack, however, is applied half a second later. This allows you to share the second stack with another person. I make use of this by simply blocking an orb and SSing and dashing towards my tank in order to give him the second blue stack in this case. So I can slowly but surely stack up the stacks he will also need in order to survive the mechanics later on. This here is, by the way, this is now the full stack because I received 3 stacks of the same color. This, however, also comes with an additional danger because as soon as you get 3 stacks of the same color, you are vulnerable to the other color. So, meaning if you receive a stack of the other color, you will die instantly, which is to be avoided at all cost. As you just saw, I moved a little bit to the left in order to avoid receiving a stack from the red orb. So this is just me making sure that I don't receive anything I don't want to have. Another small tip from our side is that the keeper should not try to share the orbs that are spawning behind the boss with the tank. Reason being, the likelihood of you dashing through the boss with the stack and sharing the stack with someone else is quite high. So personally, I would highly advise you not to share this one with the tank and just take it by yourself. As soon as all the globes are gone, the boss will try to absorb everything that's left. This will result in killing everybody that does not have a full stack by now. Luckily for us, everything worked out perfectly, meaning everybody has a full stack of either red or blue, and we can proceed as normal. A few seconds later, both Asuras will summon flowers on their side, 8 in total, 4 red ones, 4 blue ones. Those flowers will heal the boss continuously, and they need to be removed as fast as possible. How is that done? Simple. Just step into them with your respective color. Meaning DPS and healer are stepping into the red ones in this case, whereas I and the tank are stepping into all the blue ones to make them disappear. Additionally, you can put on deep ones on the boss to halve the healing they receive. Removing the flowers will cause orbs to drop. Those orbs have a different color based on the flower that dropped them. So they will be either red or blue. Based on where they drop, on what side they dropped, they will have different properties. A red orb on the blue Asura side is considered a DPS orb. They only have one skill, being the LMB. Using the LMB will grant them a DPS immunity for the incoming powerful AoE attack. As for the orbs with the same color as the boss, in this case the blue color that has the same color as the boss, picking that up turns them basically into a healing orb. Healing orbs have 3 skills. I will show quickly right now. The first and most important skill for the keepers is the 2 skill. Using the 2 skill will consume the orb, giving you an DPS immunity as well, which allows in return, however, you to cross the death zone. As for the other skills, the LMB is a simple heal that has a range of like 4 meters. It heals everybody in line for 450k around this amount. The second, one skill, the skill on the one key, is an HP buff skill that will play a crucial role in the incoming mechanic. While all of this is happening, the bosses will shoot multiple projectiles at the tanks that will deal quite a lot of damage. So the safest thing is to keep healing the tank through all of this. Now, the Asuras try to absorb all the remaining flowers. In best case, there's none remaining. If they absorb 2 flowers in total, they will wipe as well. This is the powerful attack I was talking about. The Asuras will turn the ground below them into a constant AoE dot field, and it will deal quite a lot of damage. However, since the healers and I have a healing orb, we are immune to the damage. And since the DPS roles use the damage immunity shield from their DPS orb, they are immune as well and can keep attacking. As for what's going to happen now, the boss will take the tank into a phantom grab and unleash 5 powerful slashes at them. Each of those slashes will deal 1 million damage, which means they can't be survived under normal circumstances. So how do we enable the tank to survive those attacks? Very simple. We use our skill on 1. Because this HP buff will increase the HP of the tank by 100%. The crucial part, however, is the timing. Because this heal skill needs to be charged up for like 2.5 seconds before it actually goes through. And it only lasts for 2 seconds as well. So we gotta perfectly time the HP buff to shortly before each hit is landing on the tank to make him survive the attacks. I will go over the timing on the second phase. So we can, because I missed already the timing for the first heal. As soon as the tank is released from the Phantom Grab stance, he will receive AoE damage from the ground, meaning the healers and me as a keeper, we have to keep healing him until the Asuras are done with their mechanics. So, if both tanks are still alive, the Asuras will jump and switch sides, take mech damage of 12.5% and pull their tanks towards the other side as well. So right now we have a small DPS window, but then the phase will start anew right now. One important thing to keep in mind now is for the healers and the DPS role, because now the colors are reversed, meaning now they need to block the red orbs, whereas before they need to block the blue orbs, because the Asuras now switched. As you can see, I'm constantly looking out to see where the orbs are spawning. And as you just noticed, I failed to block one orb, meaning the Asura absorbed it and received the stack of absorb orb. Remember, if either of the Asura absorbs 3 globes, they will wipe. One small addition I didn't mention before. On the freezing Asura side, there will constantly swords dropping from the air. Those swords deal a lot of damage, around 500k at least, and they will daze you. This might mess up your timing when it comes to blocking, so keep that in mind when you are going for a block. And again, the boss is trying to absorb remaining stacks, killing everybody that does not have a full stack. The flowers appear again. We are making sure to remove them as soon as possible. I position myself in a better ways so I can make sure that Shadow is actually receiving my HP buff. Alright, as for the timings of the healers, of the HP buffs, I mean. First of all, you can always check on them in the guide I've written on the SE server. But as for now, the first HP buff needs to be casted by healer 1 as soon as the Asura pulls out the second sword of the ground. Right now, the second healer should already be starting casting his HP buff in order for it to land shortly before the second attack. Shortly after the first attack, the keeper should start casting his HP buff in order for it to land shortly before the third attack. If everything is done perfectly, everybody will survive. One small addition, it is possible for the DPS rolls to die if they are too close to the boss. Now they leap again, pull the tanks towards them, and now it's going to start once more. One important thing, technically the Asuras are going to do their mechanics 3 times. However, upon the third Phantom Grab attack, they will kill the tank. Meaning you have basically until that point time to kill them. So this means right now we have the whole globe phase and the flower phase time to kill them, which makes it quite a tight damage race. Since there isn't going to be some sort of phantom grab attacks and so on, it's not as important that everybody got a stack, a full stack, I mean. So you should solely focus on blocking all the orbs and dealing damage towards the boss. One last thing you need to consider for this boss. As soon as one of the Asuras hits 1% of his HP, they will go on a rampage. This basically sets you on a timer of like 30 to 40 seconds. Once this timer expires, they will wipe you. So you have only like 30-40 seconds to kill them from that point on. Meaning, if one of the Asuras has too much HP, you will end up dying most likely. So you should highly prioritize to have them somewhere at the same amount of HP. And with that, we are done with the guide. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will find it useful for your progress.